Skull friends, Solar Polar Bear here, and I'm going to talk about something really important, and it's whether or not you should buy Mortal Online 2. Now, I'm going to weigh a lot of pros and cons here. When I say a lot, honestly, I just picked 4 for each to kind of balance out everything, so that way I'm not ranting too much about what I like or what I dislike. Honestly, though, I might rant a little bit about the dislikes part, so it's going to happen. However, I did want to preface this video by saying the game itself costs $40. There is a subscription fee. I want everyone to hear this straight off the bat, and I understand that this is going to bring a lot of negativity. There is a subscription fee. It will be activated soon. The player base for this game is around 3.5 to 4,000 people so far from what I've seen on the Steam records. Now, I'm pretty sure this is also sold from their website directly and not just off of Steam, so that includes a lot of other players. But there is a subscription fee. So once the subscription fee actually gets added, there might be a drop in population. It's always going to happen with games. Subscription fees are an archaic business practice, in my opinion. Now, a lot of games have come out with ways to combat the subscription fee and not having a subscription fee by having cash shops, and I can understand there's a healthy line between microtransactions and then paying your soul to pay a win game. So let's just kind of iron that out real quick. There is a subscription fee. Now, I need to legitimize why you should or shouldn't be paying a subscription fee with this, because it's like $15. I'm probably wrong. I think it's $15, and I haven't really looked it up yet, but I'm going to be paying it. I'm still playing the game, so. And let's just start with my pros, because I like to start with something good. It's the crafting system. The crafting system is one of the most intuitive crafting systems I have seen. Not to date, because Star Wars Galaxies takes the crown for that. Star Wars Galaxies had a very intuitive and expansive crafting system with various different resources that have different qualities that could affect different stats. It was really amazing. One of my favorite crafting systems to date. However, Mortal Online 2 does something similar where you can get a whole bunch of different resources and then utilize them for different types of gear that you need to do a certain job with. For example, cuprum, which is your equivalent of copper, is quite heavy and good for blunt instruments. While a lot of people do use steel and other things in the game for different types of weapons and gear, you can obviously fit the materials to whatever needs you have for the job. And it's really good too. It just takes that whole standard of add 4 iron, make it into bars, and then add some leather, and then you get a longsword that's the exact same stats as everyone else. You can actually tweak things different ways by adding more or less materials when you craft it. It's really awesome. One of my favorites, and I honestly enjoy doing it. The crafting system keeps me occupied for a very long time. Social aspects is my number 2 on the list. The guilds, plus everything else in between, are so great. I spent a good portion of one of my live streams sitting on a box, forming a cult around a box in Moki. And I was able to talk between the 4 different alt servers over VoIP, because they had a bug where you can actually hear each other over VoIP on the different alt servers. And we basically formed a whole religion around a cube. Praise the cube. Had so many people join us, and then we were starting to have a war between all the different alt servers and talking about this cube. It was fucking phenomenal. It was fun, and the community was great in that aspect. As far as guilds go, I'm in one of the best guilds in the world, and this is a shameless plug to my own fucking ego. I love Ravenborn. The community is great. The time I spend with Ravenborn is amazing. It's my own fucking guild. Obviously, I'm going to plug it. That's just how this shit's going to work. You don't think I'm going to go plug Legion or any other fucking other guild out there. I'm going to plug my own. It's just, this is how things work, man. But I love my community. The community I've formed is positive, great. We know each other kind of on a real life basis. We tell each other about our lives. We talk about our lives, and it's just a general good time, positive, healthy community that we have. There's other guilds out there that do just the same, that are just as great, and they spend a lot of time and effort in their community to help build it and sustain this game for the long run. PvP. I love action-based PvP games. I love games where you have to actively block and attack in order to defeat your opponent. Once it turns into a theme park slogfest where you have to just target someone and press 16 different buttons until the target dies, I can't stand that shit. I love the action stuff, man. Like, being able to sit in combat and actively block back and forth and try to read your opponent like it's a chess match is one of my favorite things in the game, because it adds a different skill level. It really does. It allows you to try to outwit your opponent. It depends on your environment. It depends on your gear. It depends on who you're with. There's so many factors that can play into PvP which can allow you to win or lose that it's just so amazing. The different types of kit sets, the different types of everything that you can do. It's fun, it's exciting, it's intuitive, and it's just different than your normal theme park stuff. Last on my list is home building. I can't wait till we have full-on towns everywhere. I'd love to see player towns, and with territory control going to be coming in, we're going to have a lot more customization for these player homes, these territories that people have. People have keeps, large keeps that are owned by very large guilds, and we're going to see a lot of mobility through these areas. We're going to see a lot of trade. We're going to see towns turning into these specializations of culture and different type of social aspects and different types of economies within these towns. And they're strategically placed for resources as well. I know there's towns down in the jungle that are near the Satyr camp, and the Satyr camp's good for scales. So these guys place down their town there. They can easily farm it out. There's a jungle horse thing nearby too, and these people stay in the jungle. Still haven't figured out who they are. I'm pretty sure it's either baboons or safari, but not sure yet. And now I'm going to move to the cons, right? The cons are important. The cons are what gets under your skin. The cons are the stuff that really kind of shun you away from paying that subscription fee. And all the things that I mentioned in the pros, right? Like, that's me validating the subscription fee. That's me telling you, look, it's worth the money. Well, let me tell you why it's not worth the money. The first one, the worst one, I think, in my opinion, is the render distance. The render distance makes it extremely difficult to fight. It takes 10 feet for you to get up to someone. 10 feet until they render in. It takes that long. They just show up as humanoid and then whatever the name of their horse is. And it's the name of the horse, not like shit brains or pee hole, whatever you name your fucking horse. No, it's steppe horse, desert horse, jungle horse. And then all of a sudden, it all pops in. It pops in with all the gear and everything and then shows you the nameplate. By that time, when someone is right in front of you, they can attack you. And you won't even know who they are. If they're far away enough from render distance where they're just showing up as humanoid, they can still hit your horse and you have no fucking idea what's going on. It just happens like that. If you are a duo or solo player out PKing, or even 3 people, you can easily take on multiple people from a distance and kill them before you know who it is. It's just how it works. The render distance is one of the most shitty aspects of this game, and it's frustrating sometimes. Even when you have a guildie who's scouting for you, going ahead, and he's sitting there looking at a whole bunch of things, taking note of everything, and then he comes back, you still have no idea who it is because he left render distance and now he's going to come back. So you have to wait till he's right in the grill of your horse before you get someone to render in with their gear. It makes it extremely difficult for you to be able to play the game. Especially if you're a solo player, you'll get run down by someone very quick before realizing if they're friend or foe. You have to look at those guild nameplates, and sometimes people turn to just straight PKing people. It's just the easier way to do it. If you see someone riding by, kill them. They could potentially kill you, right? It's preventative death. The other thing I want to talk about is latency. Now, sometimes I'll go against someone in a duel and they won't even be swinging on my screen. No swinging animations, nothing. They'll just be standing there kind of jittering left and right, moving where their feet move, and then I'm getting hit. I can't see blocks. I can't see anything. It's just them standing there. And I understand someone said the other day that that was a glitch that people are doing with their weapons, but I've seen it on multiple people. Especially we have a New Zealand guy who we just made fun of last night saying that his internet was run by sheep, who was just rubber banding constantly everywhere. The latency is garbage sometimes, and it's so frustrating, especially if there's 5 or more people. You're getting fucked. There's just so much jittering going on. We have to go to a different side of Moki just so we can train because there's so much shit going on at the bank. It's so jittery, it's so laggy, it's just terrible. It's honestly a horrible experience sometimes, but other times when you leave town, or at least you're away from the crowd, it's at least smooth. Somewhat smooth. When you deal with an action game where you have to actively play a chess match against the person you're against, and you can't tell what they're doing because they're lagging so bad, then you have a problem in your game and you really have to reassess what's going on. And I have good internet. I really do. I have good internet. Another topic is murdering, and I covered it a bit in the render distance, is as a PKer, you basically have it easy right now. You do. You can't go red. You can just sit there and kill people as much as you want, come into town, run a parcel just to get your reputation up, and it's just easy as fuck. It's easy as fuck. 2, you can just go out there and just attack anyone. It really doesn't matter. Before you even know if it's your guildie, you can kill them. And if it's not, you just attack blues and everything else that you see outside of render distance, kill their horses and whatever, and you'll get no repercussions other than waiting 4 minutes. That's it. It's one of the most toxic shit ever because you can just go right out on your own, go pick different targets that you see, kill them, wait 4 minutes or whatever your timer is going to be, and then go back into town without anything. Nothing. Nothing reinforcing that that behavior is bad. But there's nothing to help you in the game for the mechanics, right? There's nothing. And even if you wanted to defend yourself, right? Even if you wanted to defend yourself, you can't because you have no idea about that render distance. By the time they are 10 feet away from you, you just now see them load in as gray. At that point, they're already killing your horse. They're already on top of you. It's better to roam in a group PKing people. It's easier to roam in a group PKing people than it is to travel in a group and police people. It's easier to travel in a group murdering hundreds of people that you see and return back to town than it is to sit there and properly defend. It is. But the mechanics support that, and that's the frustrating part. The mechanics need to be changed. Everything needs to be tweaked properly to be able to show that that is unacceptable. In the game-wise, not just the play-wise, like people are allowed to PvP. It's just going to happen, right? I have no problem against RPKers. There's several RPK guilds I talk to on a regular basis who are friends of mine. And these people are actually good people who do it on a healthy basis. But the problem we all run into, everyone, is the combined effort of the latency and the render distance fucking you up the ass constantly. And it's unfortunate that we have to deal with that. Last but not least, it's the community. The community is one of the most toxic cesspools I've ever experienced in my life. I'm not joking. I've said this before in my other videos. I came from League of Legends, Dota, and every other fucking online game under the sun. And hell, we're in the internet day and age where 2 girls, 1 cup, and fucking lemon spin or party, whatever the fuck it was called, where the dude was spinning his dick. It was like a common thing to fuck with people. I remember in college, people used to put fucking Nazi flags on people's laptops backgrounds constantly. It was just a fun prank to do for people. I didn't quite understand it, but hell, like, I guess that was just a norm thing, you know? But this community needs to be better. We need to be better people, because when we sit and look at a Reddit post and everyone's responding to someone's legitimate question with calling them gamer words or just shitting on them, calling them an idiot that they don't understand the answer for, there's a problem. You can't be that negative towards people. You have to be accepting and inviting to new players. Otherwise, you're going to end up with MO1's population of 100 people, and that's it. The game will die because the community will not help itself. The community wants to be toxic. The community wants to use the idea that they have a hardcore MMO, and they want to run with it to the point where they can make other people miserable, socially and mechanically. There's a lot of people who don't realize that. They have no idea that they're killing their own game that they like, and they just don't even care. Half of them don't even care. I've gotten messages from people before when I come out and say these kinds of things where they say they don't give a fuck. They're going to play how they want, and it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, they'll just leave the game once it's dead. Like, that kind of mentality is toxic. That kind of mentality is what kills games. So it takes a game like this that could be intuitive, that could be amazing, that could be great, and then runs it into the ground until it's just a shithole of the same 100 people fighting each other. That's not right. That's not how we should act as humans, because as humans, we should be better and we should be more inviting to people. We shouldn't shun others because they're asking simple questions on Reddit. We shouldn't shun others because they're asking simple questions on the forum. We shouldn't shit on their parade because we want to be dicks. Just because the game has a hardcore PvP MMO title does not give you the right to be a cunt. It doesn't. You really got to step up and be a better human, because if you want this game to survive, if you want this game to thrive and bloom into something better with new mechanics, everything fixed, and even better everything, you really need to be a better human. So whatever who's watching this, who have sent me messages and said stupid shit in my comments that saying that this is just a stupid mentality, that I'm dumb and they'll play the way they want to play, you need to be a better human. Just get it out of your system. You really do. I'm not sure if you need to touch grass or at least go see a therapist. Just get better, dude. It's just it needs to happen. So really the question is, right, should you buy the game? I think you should. Really, I do. I think you should buy the game because it's looking upwards, right? We're getting changes, we're getting fixes, and it's a small company that they're doing their best, you know? They're doing their best. I think you should buy it. The subscription fee is still a little harsh, and I'm just teetering on it right now, thinking like, what the fuck? Should I pay it? Should I not pay it? But I do. I want to pay it. I want to continue supporting a developer that wants to help support us. And that's what I want to see, is I want to see Star Vault support us. I want to see Star Vault support what we want, rather than fighting on the hill of their vision and not understanding that it's affecting the community. Like I said, there's a lot of different aspects of this game, and sometimes Star Vault needs to step up and realize that there's certain aspects that they need to change or at least reinforce. A lot of people are going to say, I don't want to spend the money on this game. And I'll tell you, I'm not going to fucking force you. If you really want to see a good aspect of the game, watch a live stream. You can watch mine or many of the others that are out there on Twitch while everyone's playing. You can get a good first person's perspective on what's going on in the game, as well as how they're enjoying it. Or you could just look at some YouTube videos and determine whether or not it's going to be a good fit for you. But anyways, guys, that's my take on the pros and cons. Like I said, it's a good game. It's fun. Join me, join anyone else, find a guild, get into some good social shit, and I'll see you out there. Solar Polar Bear, stay humble, stay frosty. Peace out, brothers.